Fast food workers, what is yours, sir? This is a Wendy's moment. I used to manage a Del Taco during my high school teenage years. We had an older man come in once a month and drive straight through the speaker to our window. At said window he'd look at me until I came over, start ordering Starbucks, then midway through realizing it was a Del Taco and drive off. Once a month. Every month. For 2 years. I work at a Chili's, and when I was hosting, old people would constantly come in and talk about how weird it was that we redecorated so suddenly and where did the salad bar go? They thought we were Sizzlers, which was 2 buildings away from us. Happened at least 4 times. First of all, duck you OP for making me relive this. Now, working at McDonald's. Every single day at the same time. 1600 hours this old guy would come in and order his food. Most people knew that he wanted a special order. Overcook the it out of the patty. Started up right when he walked in. Anyway, that's not the problem. That was easy. The problem is this dude was forgetful as all hell. And would demand a ceramic plate to eat on every time. So that's when we would explain it to him. Dude, this is McDonald's. We don't have plates. And he'd usually be like, oh right. But sometimes he would just rant about how we should have plates. I saw him absolutely flip the duck out because a girl stepped outside the break room with a plate of food she brought from home. I knew you bastards had plates and could not convince him otherwise ever thereafter. Keep it in the break room is the moral of the story. Was a shift manager at a McDonald's in the middle of a mall. A guy walks up to the counter with several McDonald's bags of food. Guy, my wife came through your drive-thru and you messed up the order. Me, are you sure she came through our drive-thru? Guy, yes. She told me she came through the drive-thru, and when she got home she realized the order was wrong. You all need to give us our money back and give us the right food. Me, confused while looking around the mall. Me, did she drive through Sears or JCPenney to get here? Guy, looks around and finally realizes he's in the middle of a mall. Grabs the bags and huffs away. That was the single greatest amount of human stupidity I had experienced until I joined Reddit. It wasn't me involved, but I witnessed it. I worked at Burger King when I was a teenager. We are short-staffed one day, and the girl on the drive-thru was on break, so our manager stepped in to cover her. He was pretty old and didn't have the best hearing, so most customers were pulling around to the window to talk to him as he was struggling to hear through the headset. Anyway, this one guy rolls up to the window and shouts, I want a large Big Mac meal with a Coke please. Is that so damn hard? My manager very calmly says, my apologies sir, that won't be difficult. He leans out of the window and points down the road. There's a McDonald's about 3 miles in that direction. They'll be able to help. Have a nice day sir. Then he just closes the window and walks around the corner out of sight. I laughed so hard. Work at Panera. Guest calls in from car. Several people in background. All giving orders for a pickup. First order is something simple. Next order is an item we don't carry. Salmon dish of some kind. I know there are some regional Paneras that have or have had salmon. We are not one of them. So I'll let them know. Hey, I'm sorry but we don't carry salmon. Maybe, and the person on the other end of the phone cuts me off and starts getting really aggressive. Yes you do. You do. They scream. But I don't. We don't. So then I'm like, hey, maybe you're thinking of another chain. We are very similar to, and I start to list off some other places. And they cut me off again screaming. I know you have duck-ing salmon. What the duck? I ate it just the other day. And at this point I'm just being honest with them and say, hey man, I don't really need this attitude. We don't have salmon. I can't make the dish for you. You have us confused with someone else. There's a long silence and finally someone, not the person who's been yelling, says, wait, this isn't insert some totally not Panera sounding place that I don't remember here. No. And then everyone in the car starts yelling at each other. And I hang up. Customer service is the worst. Dude came to drive-thru. I open the window. Sir, how can I help you? I'm out of checks. He replies calmly, not sure I follow you. I say, I'm out of checks. He says again more impatiently, right. I heard you but I don't know what you want me to do about it. You can pay with cash or card too. Dude gives me a weird look then says, oh this ain't the bank. and peels out away from the window. I'm a pharmacist. Worked at a Dairy Queen. Had a lady saunter in all frustrated, bag in hand, whipped out her receipt and without giving me much context said, "There's sup to be a Baja Blast." I told her, "Ma'am, this is for Taco Bell." She quickly said my bad and sped out of the restaurant. I think she was making up a story and did it in the wrong store. Also, the number of people who asked, "Do you serve ice cream?" is way too duckin' high. About 11 years ago I had just went into management at McDonald's and they sent me to practice running our location inside a Walmart. Two older ladies, probably in their 70s, 80s, came in and while one came up to my register the other sat down about 15 feet away in a booth. They both look and sound frail. The exchange went like this. Me: "Hi, what can I get for you today?" Lady 1, standing: "Yes, I'll have the lunch meat combo." Me: "I'm sorry, what?" Lady 1: "The lunch meat combo." Me: "I'm sorry, we don't have that here." Lady 1: "Oh, well, what do you have?" Me: "Well, we have burgers, fish, chicken." Lady 1: "Wait, what is this place?" Me: "McDonald's." Lady 1 turns and looks at her friend and literally yells, "They don't have the lunch meat combo here." Lady 2, sitting 15 feet away: "What?" Lady 1: "They don't have the lunch meat combo." Lady 2: "What do they have?" Lady 1: "It's McDonald's." Lady 2: "What?" Lady 1: "McDonald's." Lady 2: "Where are we?" Lady 1 looks at me: "Give us just a couple minutes." Me: "No problem, take your time." At that point I had to step away because the interaction reminded me so much of the SpongeBob episode with the two older ladies and the chocolate bars that I was about to die laughing, so I had someone else take over the register and told them to promo their meals because they made my day. I worked at the concession stand at a movie theater in high school. This guy orders a popcorn and large Diet Pepsi, comes back to the counter like 10 minutes later complaining that his soda is carbonated. I explained to him that all of our sodas are carbonated and he asks me if we had a microwave. We did. So he wants me go into the back and microwave his soda. He wants it warm but not too warm. Went to the back and had to pour the soda into 2 different cups because the original wouldn't fit into the microwave. Truly bizarre experience. Y'all wouldn't believe the amount of disappointed rich people who come to Panda Express and find out we aren't serving authentic Chinese food. Once a well-traveled rich woman came into Panda Express and stood at the buffet line for about 10 minutes, critiquing our mistakes and explaining how Chinese cuisine doesn't actually have fried wontons with cream cheese filling. Mum, we just fry what came in the bag from a warehouse in California. I used to work at Target and they hired a new girl, who had previously worked at Walmart, to work the fitting rooms, and by default the intercom system. A few days after she started she was about to make an announcement over the intercom and I guess habit took over because she started the announcement with "Attention Walmart shoppers." She realized her mistake and made a good recovery with, "You are in the wrong store." Not a worker but a hapless victim of my own drunkenness. My wife and I were walking back to our hotel after a meal where I had about 4 extremely well-made margaritas. I wanted a mocha milkshake for dessert, and the following happens. Walked up to the counter. Employee: "What can I get you?" Me: "I will have a mocha milkshake." Employee: "We don't have it here." Me: "What kind of Arby's is this?" Employee: "Sir, this Hardee's." I completely blank out. Wife: "Can you mix some chocolate and vanilla shake together?" He's too drunk to notice the difference. Worked at a small roadside produce place. My boss had a few different stalls so I was often left to run the stall myself. I remember this lady walked up. "Do you have any tomatoes?" "Sorry, we don't, but the place down the street has them." "Then go there." I was the manager at an overnight shift at a burger place. Drunks were always trying to order pizza and other dumb stuff. One night a guy insisted he wanted a pizza so I said alright, but it will be $100 and take like an hour. We was like cool, came around and gave me $100 at the window. There was 4 of us there so I told the dude to park, sent a worker to the grocery store across the parking lot to buy our Red Baron, brought it back, cooked it in our oven, took out to the dude who had fallen asleep in his car. The 4 of us split the off of $95. I worked in a Jimmy John's. A dude in a military uniform came in asking about a military discount. Told him we don't give military discounts. To which he proceeded to flip out, pull out his phone and start recording a video, ranting about how we won't give him his military discount like he deserves. Not exactly a fast food worker, but I do work in a restaurant and people can get Deliveroo Uber Eats from us. A couple times a week a driver will show up and show us their phone with an order for a 12-inch sub. Yeah mate. That's the Subway across the street. We're a pizzeria. Read the address. God knows how they find the customers' houses. I worked at a Chipotle for 4 years and got some pretty interesting requests. But I'll never forget the time someone ordered soup. Chipotle doesn't have soup. I promptly reminded her this was a Chipotle, but she insisted we could do it. So we made her soup a Chipotle. It was the grossest concoction of bean juice, sofritas, mild, medium and hot salsa, and sour cream. She was stoked. I worked at Dunkin' and one time a customer came through the drive-thru and complained to us that the drive-thru was built in a way that made it hard to drive. She started yelling at my co-workers, so I just put down what I was doing and told her mom we cannot change the construction of the building. Like seriously though, what did she want us to do? I just make sandwiches. Edit. Thank you for the award, strangers. I don't check Reddit that often, but it made my day. I worked at a pizza place and I got a complaint that we delivered sushi. It was a pepperoni pizza, but he could not be convinced. I worked at a liquor store a few years back. One day a man walks in and puts 2 bottles of whiskey down. And as I'm scanning the bottles I make the usual small talk. How's your night going? The man took a deep breath and looked me in the eyes and says, well, I just walked in on my 14-year-old son completely naked video chatting a ducking middle-aged man. So it could be a lot better. I didn't quite know what to say. So I told him, oh, that's not good. Enjoy your drinks. A customer called the store with a very specific request that I did my best to fulfill. She had her husband pick it up. He returned 20 minutes later with food thrown in a bag, out of its container, then threw it across the counter at me. His wife called to tell me I would never amount to anything. I was on my final 2 weeks, so telling her to make her own dinner was particularly rewarding. Back when I worked at Burger King years ago, we always used to get people coming in and ordering Big Macs and other stuff from McDonald's. The cashiers just said screw it and put in orders for Whoppers or whatever the closest parallel was for whatever they ordered. There were even a few conversion charts near the cash registers just so we could save ourselves the headache of figuring out what to put in. It's stupid, but nobody really complained about the food they got, so I guess that's a win. The downside was that quite a few guys also treated the place as a place to try and pick up dates when female cashiers were around. So, yeah, that went over poorly thanks to management. No crazies, but I ran the grill at McDonald's in the 80s. I got a ticket once to cook a quarter-pounder well done. I did it. Felt like a chef. Also, this regular would order a plain cheeseburger with no salt every time. Yep, I can do that too. Someone asked me what type of meat is on the grilled chicken sandwich. I responded muskrat. He didn't think it was very funny. Semi-related. Folks in the Taco Bell drive-thru asked, I do not, every day, how much are the dollar grillers? Every ducking day. When I was really young and had recently tried fried calamari, I confused it with the fried clam strips at White Castle. I was adamant that they had fried calamari and convinced my dad to order it for me at the window. They laughed at him. I'm late, but I used to work at Taco Bell as a drive-thru guy. I just took people's orders, took their money, and gave them their it. Basically, so there's the usual script you follow when a customer pulls up. Hi, welcome to Taco Bell. How are you? And 90% of them say good. Could I get a? And carry on with their order. The kind 10% of people say good. How are you? And you would usually say something like pretty good. Thanks for asking. What can I get for you today? Well, one time, I got an outlier. I asked hi, how are you? And defying all convention, this man on the other end, in a country accent, responded, sadly we're not doing too well. It wasn't in a dignified way either. Dude sounded legit upset about something. I was just bewildered. I had no idea what to say. I think after like 5 seconds of silence I was like, well, sorry to hear that. What can I get for you tonight? The speaking part of that job is so routine that you become a customer service robot. Then this sad guy comes through and actually is honest about his current mood, and it just threw me off entirely. A customer asked for ice cream. I looked at my co-worker and we gave each a WTF look. I asked him to repeat his order and he asked for ice cream again until I had to say, "Sir, this is Tim Hortons. We don't sell ice cream." I'm pretty sure he was high. Worked at Chick-fil-A for too many god-awful years. Guy walks in looking at his phone and says, "I'd like the fish sandwich combo." Cue confused blinking on my part, and then I finally ask, "What was that?" Dude looks up from his phone, sighs, and says, "I want the fish sandwich." Me, "Sir, this is Chick-fil-A. Literally all we have is chicken." He finally looked up at the menu behind me, then around at the restaurant completely bewildered, turned around and walked out. I don't know how he even drove there, parked, and walked in without noticing where he was. Not a fast food worker. I work at a dentist's office and sometimes answer the phones. People love to just dump on me for some reason. Guess they need someone to talk to. So they call the dentist. A few gems. 1. I had a lady spend 15 minutes telling me she was going to quit her job because it was interfering with her ability to be a single parent and she gets better tips waitressing anyway. I did not ask anything pertaining to her job. 2. Had a lady call and tell me about her psychotic delusions, that the police were after her and that she was hearing voices in her head. Once again, this had nothing to do with her dental treatment. 3. Had 2 patients who were engaged. Their wedding date was posted in the patient's chart. Always come in together. The woman will rub the guy's feet while he is getting work done. I called their number for the woman to confirm an appointment one day and the man answered. He said they had a falling out and his former fiancée registered sign was living at her mom's now. A month or so later he called to tell us they were back together and the wedding was still on. This call had nothing to do with teeth or his treatment whatsoever. Just wanted us to know. There are so many more. My patients are wild. Worked at a Japanese restaurant when I was in college, and I remember one phone conversation I had with someone trying to put in an order. More than me. "Hello, this is," name of the restaurant. "Is this pickup or delivery?" More than customer. "Pickup." More than me. "Okay. Great. What can I get you?" More than customer. "Yeah, can I get an order of orange chicken?" More than me. "I'm sorry, but we don't serve that here. But we do have a great chicken hibachi I highly recommend." More than customer. "Now, how about some kung pao chicken?" More than me. "I'm sorry, but we don't have that either." More than customer. "What kind of Japanese restaurant are you if you don't have those?" I wanted so bad to say, "Well, we're the kind that serves Japanese food and not Chinese dishes." But I knew my boss would have been so pissed if she found out. So I just told them the only chicken dish we had was the hibachi. They were still mad and said they would find a better place to order from. Don't work in fast food. This was an incident I was witness to. I go to KFC for dinner one night. The customer in front of me is ranting and raving at the clerk. I overhear a bit of the conversation, and the man is ranting at the clerk about the old NES game Castlevania II. Customer, "It was such a scam. The whole game was designed that you couldn't play it without buying the Nintendo Power Strategy Guide." Gen Z clerk, "What's Nintendo Power?" I could see the pained look on the clerk's face as she immediately regretted asking that. The man then launches into the history of Nintendo Power. Luckily, the clerk sees me and forms her exit strategy. "Sir, you need to wrap this up. We've got to line forming." Dude sees me and has the decency to end his lecture and go wait for his chicken in silence. It's not that exciting, but in my town we have 2 KFCs. One of them is a joint KFC and I used to work at the standalone place and we would always have people try to order burgers, shakes, cheese curds and other and products because they didn't realize that they are different restaurants. I work in a small town grocery store. Not fast food but still retail. Once when I was first starting out at the store, a stereotypical neckbeard walked in the store and asked if we sold dildos. I kid you not. I told him that we were a family-friendly grocery store and didn't carry those items. He ended up just buying Hot Pockets and ice cream. I work at a legal cannabis store. We always have people asking if we sell alcohol, but sometimes we're asked for more fun stuff like shrooms or heroin. I had a guy make a scene because we didn't carry fries or burgers at Subway. He got mad and walked out. I worked at a bakery and it was not uncommon, about 10-12x year, for guys in their 30-40s to bring their dates in and place large imaginary orders. They'd look at the case and flip through some photos, then come up to the counter and be all gross schmoozy rubbing up on their date like, baby, anything you want. You can't decide which flavor? Mom, put me down for one cake in each flavor. One whole cake. One donut. Every flavor. Put a heart decoration on each one. After the first couple times we started pretending to write it on scratch paper and threw the paper away at the end of the night. They'd never schedule a time or date to pick up, and if you tried to take the order seriously and get details, they'd get rude as duck calls. I guess yelling at employees was also seen as sexy in this scenario. ? It had to have been like one guy at a workplace who did it and told all his friends because it was so ducking weird, and I've never heard of it being a thing elsewhere. I was working at Browns and this guy went on a whole rant about how Queen and all the bands from the 70s 80s are working with governments to erase memories, all because he heard a lyric wrong. I work at an ice cream shop and a lot of people come to the window and ask stupid things. One lady had the audacity to call us and ask if we had ramen noodles. Does the word ice cream and the name of our shop give any hints to you? Some other guy also asked if we had pizza. Really? Worked at a Vietnamese place which had these dope metal chopsticks people would steal. And a table actually asked me once if they could take a pair or two home with them, and they gave me a tip because I said, I bring people food. What kind of ethical decisions do you suspect me able to make? Grinned and walked away. Made extra $10 in tips for my silence, and my boss thought they liked me. But I knew they had the chopsticks. And they knew I knew they had the chopsticks. You don't have tables? Nope. I'll just have the general chicken. This is a Pizza Hut. Fine. Just a few egg rolls. How about a pizza? Why would I order pizza at a Chinese restaurant? You're right. That would be stupid.